Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to another session of Grade 10 Memo discussion for Technical Sciences Paper 2. And we are also streaming live on YouTube for the colleagues that will want now to watch the recording later. Ladies and gentlemen, without wasting any time, welcome to this platform, and we will be discussing the memo. Feel free, any inputs we will need, such that we do not, however, disadvantage our learners. Let's just remember they need now this exam for them to be able to go into the next grade, which is grade 11. Ladies and gentlemen, without wasting any time, let's get straight into the marking guideline. Ladies and gentlemen, question 1, 1.1c, 1.2b, 1.3a, 1.4b, 1.5b. I didn't find any ambiguous questions or any alternative answer, so I believe question 1, it is out of 10, and we are going to accept the answers as they are. As for question 2, it says the diagram below represents a metal, a semiconductor, and a non-metal. A, it's copper rod, B, boron, C, sulfur powder, and D, it's a silver rod. At 2.1, write down the letter that represents a non-metal. The correct answer is C, 1 mark. 2.2, substance A and B allows electric current to pass through easily. 2 to 1, write down one word for the underlined statement. Ladies and gentlemen, it is conductors, 1 mark. If the learner writes electrical conductors, we will only look for conductors as the correct answer only. Anything thereof we do not consider, because the key word there is now the conductors. At 2.3, substance B and C are known as semiconductors. Use the given periodic table to identify two semiconductors in group 14. Write only the symbol. Ladies and gentlemen, the instruction is clear. Use a periodic table. So the periodic table will not give us the names of these two semiconductors. So hence we can only accept Si and Ge. So if a learner writes the name in full, ladies and gentlemen, we must penalize, because the reference here is the use of the periodic table thereof. At 2.4, write down any two properties of substance B. Substance D is a silver rod, so it is a solid at room temperature, have high melting point, it is shiny and has a metallic appearance, it is strong, malleable and tactile, is also a good conductor of heat and electricity. Ladies and gentlemen, we are only going to mark any two that the learner will give. However, ladies and gentlemen, remember, some of our learners are second language speakers in terms of the English. They will not necessarily write it in point form, but they will give you an information or a statement that somehow shows that it is a solid, it is strong, it is malleable and ductile. So when you read or when you get into this point, please be on the lookout for what is it that the learners are saying, because these questions are open-ended, ladies and gentlemen. Open-ended, it means learners must be able to express themselves in terms of understanding the basic concept. So the fact that it is silver rod, then at room temperature it must be a solid. So look out now for any of such inputs from our learners, ladies and gentlemen. And the total of question 2 is 6 marks. I'm going to allow questions, inputs, or anything of comments relating to question 2. Inputs, suggestions, comments, ladies and gentlemen. Anything that you think we should add to the memo, or anything that you think we are strict in terms of marking these learners at this particular time. Going once, twice, I don't see any hands. So ladies and gentlemen, it says we accept question 2 as it is. Now for question 3. For question 3, it says different materials can be classified as magnetic and non-magnetic. These materials play an important role in our daily lives. 3.1, define the term element. Element is the type of a pure substance. And then this will be now 2 or 0, ladies and gentlemen. 3.2, classify the following materials as magnetic or non-magnetic. Write only magnetic or non-magnetic. Nickel, magnetic, 1 mark. Glass, non-magnetic, 1 mark. Copper, non-magnetic, 1 mark. Cobalt, magnetic, 1 mark. 3.3, state any 2 practical applications of magnets in everyday life. State any 2 practical applications of magnets in everyday life. They are used in a compass. They are used in electromagnets, in cranes to remove scrap metal, in fridge magnets, in radio antennas, in telephones, as well as electrical motors. So any 2, ladies and gentlemen, we will award 2 marks to our learners. So the total of question 3 is 8 marks, and I'm going now to say any inputs, any suggestions, any comments relating now to question 3. Any comments, ladies and gentlemen, relating to question 3? I don't see any hands. I don't see any comments in the chat. So it basically says we accept everything in question 3 as it is. Now for question 4, ladies and gentlemen, a certain element has an atomic number of the following notation in the periodic table of elements. Define the term atomic number. Atomic number is defined as the number of protons in an atom, and ladies and gentlemen, this will also be 2 or 0. It is a definition, ladies and gentlemen, so let's emphasize that during the marking. How many of the following does an atom of this element have? 421 protons, 15, 1 mark. Electrons, 15, 1 mark. Neutrons, it's now 31 minus 15, that will be 16. So ladies and gentlemen, we are not interested in that step or the sequence of how the learner got to 16. So the fact that we have 16 as the final answer, that is what we will be interested in. So check, your learners will maybe have something like 31 minus 15 is equals to 16. We will only mark the 16 for us to be able to get the 2 marks only. So we will not be interested in what happens or what comes before the actual answer of 15. That's the reason why we allocated it 2 marks, because of we understand there's an intermediary step for them to actually perform in order to get the final answer of 60. Ladies and gentlemen, at 4.3 determine the molecular mass of this element, and then it is just 31. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not interested in the SI unit. We are just saying if they give us 1 mark, if they give us 31, then it will be just 1 mark for that. Write down the name or symbol for this element. The correct answer there, ladies and gentlemen, is P, or phosphorus. So they can basically just read this information from the periodic table. And the total of question 4 is also 8 marks, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, let me pause and now wait for any inputs, suggestions, or things that you want us to amend in the marking guideline, especially now question 1, 2, 3, and 4. Any questions, please? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I do not see any hands nor comments. One can easily say the paper was fair and very easy to mark, and I believe and hope that our learners will do well. Question 5, ladies and gentlemen. Question 5 says define the term compound. A compound is a substance made up of 2 or more elements in the exact ratio. Also, it is a definition, ladies and gentlemen. Let's remember 2 now or 0. Very, very, very important. 5.2. The table below represents different substances. Use the table above to identify 521 2 pure substances: table salt, oxygen, copper wire, distilled water, magnesium ribbon, or bicarbonate of soda. Ladies and gentlemen, any 2 of the above will be accepted. So please just check, because each and every learner is going to give you every time any 2 different answers. 522 2 elements: magnesium ribbon and copper wire. But Mr. Nambani, what happens when a learner decides to omit ribbon and wire and they just write now magnesium and copper? Ladies and gentlemen, we will award a mark. Let's not penalize for the words ribbon and wire if they are omitted, because however the actual essence is magnesium is the one which is an element, copper is the one which is an element. In which form, that shall be discussed at the later stage. 523 2 compounds: sugar, bicarbonate of soda, and table salt. So also, ladies and gentlemen, maybe it will be better if we can say here, it is also important that we say any 2. Very, very important. Write down the chemical formula of table salt. Only for 1 mark, ladies and gentlemen, NaCl. Then it is 1 mark for the learner. 5.3, define the term cation. Cation is defined now as a positively charged ion. And ladies and gentlemen, it is a definition 2 or 0. Very, very, very important. 5.4, write down the name and the charge of each of the underlined ions. 541, Cl is underlined, so Cl is known as chloride, and then the charge is -1. So 1 mark for the name and 1 mark for the charge with the correct sign, ladies and gentlemen. 524, MgSO4, and then SO4 is the one that is underlined, so it is a sulfate and it is now a -2. 543, calcium carbonate, CO3 is the one that is now underlined, so it is a carbonate with a charge now of -2. So it is 1 mark for the name and then 1 mark for the charge. 5.5, write down the chemical formulae of the following compounds. 551, sodium bromide, it's NaBr, 2 marks. It's 2 or 0, ladies and gentlemen. There's no part marking of saying the learner has identified Na, the learner has identified Br. It's just 2 or 0. Lithium nitrate, LiNO3, 2 marks as well. Now 533, there are ticks that are missing there, ladies and gentlemen, in the memo. Kindly add those ticks for 533 for potassium dichromate. It must be K2Cr2O7 and 2 marks for that. 5.6, write down the names of the following compounds. Carbon dioxide, CO2, 2 marks. KOH, potassium, 1 mark. Hydroxide, 1 mark. Sodium hydrogen carbonate, NaHCO3, sodium, 1 mark. Hydrogen, 1 mark. Carbonate, 1 mark. And the question is 3 marks. 5.7, write down the balanced equation for the reaction below. Sulfur dioxide, oxygen gives us now sulfur trioxide. Now, ladies and gentlemen, maybe I must emphasize that we must use here rule 6310. Rule 6310, what does it say? It says for us to mark, the arrow must be there. If there's no arrow, it's 0. Why, ladies and gentlemen? Because the arrow indicates the direction or the side which we have our reactants, which we have our products. So if the arrow is not there, it basically says this learner will get 0, no arrow is equals to 0 over 3. But if the arrow is there, then you can now start saying the direction of the arrow informs me of now the correct reactants. Then 1 mark. Then you will know which one is going to be the product because of the direction of the arrow. Then 1 mark. Then you check now 1 mark for the balance. Automatically, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot balance the incorrect equation or the incorrect the incorrect equation. Why? Let's say the learner has now wrong side of the products, maybe SO2 for whatever reason, but however they managed to balance the equation correctly. The fact that the product is incorrect, it means already they are going to omit a mark for balancing. So in actual essence, we only award a mark of balancing if all reactants and products are correct. That's only when we can be able to apply that. And the total, ladies and gentlemen, of question 5 is 33 marks. That is actually where the exam had a lot of marks. Ladies and gentlemen, questions, inputs, suggestions, please. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't see hands, I don't see any inputs, so it basically says we can go to question 6. At 6.1, convert the following values to the correct value. 86 degrees Celsius to kelvins is equals to 359 K with the correct SI unit, ladies and gentlemen, 1 mark. 399 kelvins to degrees Celsius, it's now 196 degrees Celsius, 1 mark. Name 3 types of thermometers. It is now an alcohol thermometer, mercury thermometer, and thermoelectric thermometer. So even if the word thermometer is not there, ladies and gentlemen, we will continue marking for the alcohol, mercury, and thermoelectric. 6.3, the apparatus below is used now to determine the melting point of a paraffin wax. Write down the names of the following apparatus. 631B, glass rod, 1 mark. 632C, test tube. 633D, it is a Bunsen burner. 634E is a beaker, and then 635A is a thermometer. And the total, ladies and gentlemen, of this question 6 is equals to 10 marks, and the total of the paper is 75 marks. Ladies and gentlemen, inputs please relating to question 6. Comments, inputs, suggestions. I don't see any comments, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe I should say now let's ask few individuals to actually give us a reflection of the paper and the anticipation thereof. Let me open up to Mebanyani. Comments, suggestions please relating to today's grade 10 paper 2 technical sciences.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Nambani, the paper was fair, and it was very nice to me. I have no problems with it, and the standard was good also. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that the learners will do well. It's just I don't think they will be disadvantaged in any way. because this is now the basic principles of how we are going to mark. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of myself and Free State Department of Education, thank you very much for your hard work. Thank you very much for all the work you've been doing to trying and support our learners. May the great Lord give you everything that your heart desires and bless you abundantly. Ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, from me to you, thank you very much. Let's meet again very soon.